All right. We're going to react to messages that I sent to BD players back when I was in 8th grade.
8th grade?
Yeah. Showtime.
Oh, it's on your phone.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my next video. And as you can tell from the title and thumbnail, we're going to be going over messages that I sent to mainly the BD snare line back when I first found out what the BD snare line was. Back in 7th grade is when I first found out what drumline was, and after doing research and looking stuff up more and more about what drumline is, I fell in love with the snare, more specifically the Blue Devil snare line. And in 7th grade, it was 2011 and 2012, I believe. 2012, I was in 8th grade. Honestly, I don't even know what year we're in right now. So I'm pretty bad with the dates and everything. The only thing that I honestly remember was falling in love with 2012, Blue Devils 2012, Cabaret Voltaire, and I just fell in love with the music. I fell in love with how clean the snares were. I was just obsessed with that snare line specifically. I kind of was obsessed with it so much that I went online to try to find who these people were, who these talented people were, and I found them on Facebook and sent them all kind of like DM private messages asking about the line. So this was back in 2012, 2013, and some of the people actually responded. But the funny thing is, the cringy thing is looking back at it in this day and seeing how freaking annoying and how young and stupid I was. So I made this video to react on how annoying and how terrible I was back in the day, and showing you guys these messages as well. So I hope this is entertaining. I hope you guys enjoy this, because me and Jasmine are gonna look at these messages for the first time in a minute. And before I go on with anything, all the screenshots and all the messages that I show you guys, I did get permission from the people themselves. I sent them a message asking them if I'm allowed to post these messages on here, and all the people that I'm going to be showing you guys, they all said yes. So shout out to every single person that you guys see on here for allowing me to post these messages on here. So first, let's start off with Keelan Tobia. Just in case you guys don't know, I mentioned him in my last video. He's an amazing drummer. He has probably, I believe, one of the most famous I&E snare solos out there. This guy is just amazing. Still to this day, he posts videos on Instagram of himself playing.
It says right here, 2012.
2012. So I know, but I don't remember. This was back in 2012. Yeah, as you can tell, this is the first thing I said.
Hey.
Hey, you most likely won't know me. It's a great way to start off a conversation with a stranger you've never met. But I'm a big fan of the Blue Devil snare line, my favorite snare line so far. I haven't seen many snare lines at that time, so it was probably one of the only ones. And I said, congrats on your score on 98.7. No response. I decided to message him again. Oh, and you have the best solo in the tenor part. Oh, in the tenor part. So when I sent that message, I was referring to the solo in the show where the tenors have the background, and he's the first person to come out with the solo. I just fell in love with it, so it was just really awesome. And still, no response.
So the first one was at 7:50. The second one was at 11:08.
So I was like on my way to school. I was in school.
6:06.
6:06 p.m. I got home. I was just chilling at home, watching videos, and
Hello.
Hello. He still didn't respond. So As you can tell, I was really, really annoying this guy.
Do you think drumline?
And then, a little backstory. I'm pretty sure I sent this message to a bunch of the Blue Devil Snare Line, and I just asked, do you think drumline is a sport? And I asked that question because I was having an argument with classmates in one of my, I think in an English class or something, and they were all saying that drumline wasn't a sport because it's like super easy and all you're doing is playing music. So I was making the argument that drumline is a sport, and it was funny because any person who did drumline would agree that it's a sport, but any person who doesn't know what drumline is or has never seen a drumline and doesn't know like the physical capability of what it takes to be a drumline player, they all say that it isn't a sport. So I just asked around just to see if my conclusions were correct by people who are in drumline would think that it's a sport. And so yeah, sure enough, I sent him that question. That was the first response that he responded. It was cool to finally get a response from him.
It was also 2013.
Remember, it was almost 2013 by then. Oh no, it was May.
It's May.
So I guess after that hello message, I kind of just stopped messaging him because I figured that he was annoyed by me already. So I kind of hold off on that, waited a few months, and then I asked that question. He just said by definition yes, and I was just trying to be cool, just keeping it classy and simple, and I said, thanks, bro. And oh man, I'm such a loser. So this message, I think 2014, I was a sophomore already, a freshman or sophomore.
5:54 a.m.
I had 0 period, so I had to wake up in the morning. How I saw this message, or the reason I sent this message is because I saw him post a fundraiser thing that he was doing, and he said, hey, message me if you're interested. And I messaged him about the fundraiser and I said, hey, is it still going on? Kind of just to get a reply from him. I literally just sent the message just to see if he would reply. Sure enough, he did. And yeah, oh my god, this is so cringy. I said, all right, I'm in La Habra, so just let me know when you would like to meet or when you're down or when you're around town.
Nope.
No response to that. I have no idea what I was thinking or saying. So, and one of the last messages that I sent him back in those days was, hey, can you help out a young drummer? I have a couple of questions of drumline technique. And that was back when I was trying to get more serious into drumming. I was a freshman or sophomore still at La Habra, and I was just having questions about drumline technique in general and just trying to fix it. And I wanted to get his input on how to fix it, just tips and tricks, and he didn't respond. So yeah, that's cool. That was the last message that I sent him. So after those messages, I ended up going to Ayala, as you guys know, and I have met him before. I do have a couple clips of him in one of my videos of me meeting him. Sup, Keelan? Hey, yo, can you be in my video? You're like a big fan of mine. Oh, and I'm making YouTube videos, so cool. This guy's like super famous. Honestly, just amazing to be able to meet a guy from that caliber in person. So it was really cool meeting him. He plays for the Disneyland Drumline, so he's still constantly playing. Him and I have a lot of mutual friends, and it's just really cool to know that he knows who I am officially now, and that we can have like a conversation and not just me sending a bunch of messages with no replies. So yeah, after asking him for permission, he reread our thread. That's a really hard thing to say. He reread our thread, and he was just like, yikes. He just says, what's up to all you guys, and he appreciates that I asked him for permission. And this was another thing too that not only Keelan said, but somebody else said that I'm about to show you. He says, no problem. I was and still am just as annoying to my inspirations. So it's really cool to hear that from him, because we've all been in that place where you look up to someone and you constantly want to talk to them, meet them, and just get information from them. And it's not only from me in my perspective. He says that he's done that as well. And I just want to share that message with you guys, just because I want you guys to be this is okay. I just wanted to share this message with you guys just to let you guys know that to not be afraid to reach out to your inspirations. You may think that you're sounding annoying, you may be constant, and you might be persistent at what you do, but that's the only way you'll get things done. Like, I believe that if I hadn't been messaging him, I wouldn't have built up the drive to go out to Ayala. I wouldn't have built up the courage to continue drumming. There's all these little things that you can do to reach your inspiration by just going out and talking to them. So it was really cool to see that message from him. There's another similar message that comes from this next. Wait, time out. One more thing that I want to mention about this amazing, talented guy. From the time that I recorded this video till now that I'm editing it, Keelan just announced on his Instagram that he is partnering up with Pearl Drums now and is an official drummer for Pearl Drums. That is an amazing accomplishment to do at any point of your career. So congratulations to him for signing with Pearl Drums. Now what I want you guys to do real quick is go to his Instagram page, find the most recent post, I don't know what it is, and just comment congratulations to him for partnering up with Pearl Drums. It is an amazing accomplishment to do, and I just wanted to say, put in that congratulations in here. All right, cool. This next person is Brandon Gedalhe. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Pardon me if I'm saying it wrong. But this guy, he was also in the 2012 snare line. He went on to be center snare 2014, I believe, or 2015, Fellini-esque. He's also really talented. I mean, center snare for the Blue Devils. Like, how much more talented can you get? I messaged him as well, and it starts off, hey, you most likely don't know me. For some odd reason, I think that there was a possible chance that these guys would know me. I said, but I'm a big fan of Blue Devil snare line, and I just told him congrats on the score for 98.7. So I think I was just sending all these people messages just to congratulate them on such a high score. I think that was the world record at the time. I was just congratulating them, just trying to be some weird ass kid. And no response. Yeah, so yeah, that was cool. And so back to the whole drumline is a sport thing, I decided to message him as well. Do you think drumline is a sport? And yeah, he finally replied a couple days later, and he replied. He said, thanks for the congratulations. It was a lot of work to earn that score, but definitely a fun adventure. And he says, I do not think drumline is a sport. I want to have a conversation with him now because I don't remember that.
You didn't reply.
I didn't reply.
You were
hurt. I think that's exactly what happened. I was just like, he doesn't think drumline is a sport. I don't want to talk to him anymore. Yeah, honestly, I don't know.
We need to get him.
Yeah, we need to get him. We need to get him into this freaking video and ask him for ourselves and have a conversation. So yeah, that was a full message right there. It was just those 3 messages sent back and forth. And yeah, that's basically all the conversation that I had with him. Brandon, I don't think I've ever met him in person, face to face. I think I've seen him before at a DCI competition, but I never had the courage to go up and say hi because I'm nervous. I haven't personally met him yet, but I do follow him on Instagram, which you guys should too. Everyone's Instagram links and everything will be down in the description. But I do follow his Instagram, and he is a really, really good photographer. He got into photography, and I think he's trying to make a brand for himself, and he's out there just taking amazing pictures of all DCI performers, and they just look amazing. So I'll put his personal account and his photography account down below, so make sure you go check that out and support him. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really met him. I'm hoping to maybe talk to him in the future, have a conversation with him about drumline in general. So Brandon, if you're out there, that'll be cool. And let's move on to the next person. The next person is gonna be Nicole Casino. Now, Nicole was the only female drummer on that line that year, and I think the year after, 2013, she actually became center snare. So Nicole is needless to say, a very talented player. I've also seen her perform at RCC 2015. It was just amazing to see a female drummer play in a male-dominant activity, which I think she, along with a handful of other female drummers, are a reason we see so many girl drummers in this activity today. More and more females are coming into, not necessarily the activity, but coming into battery more, which is really, really amazing to see. And I give, first off, I want to give props to Nicole. But like I said, I start off the conversation with, do you think drumline is a sport? First message I sent back in 2013. And she replied. She was one of the only people to reply. I think she replied that same day. So I said, do you think drumline is a sport? She said, absolutely. And after she replied, it confirmed the fact that she sees the conversation and she has the conversations instead of me just sending a bunch of random stuff. So after she said that, I said thank you, and then I sent my congratulations for that 2012 year. I said congratulations. Oh, actually, this was a year after. I said congratulations on Center Snare, which is, like I said, the 2013 year. That is amazing. I hope to be on the line someday. Oh, to be in the Blue Devils drumline. Anyways, beside that, I said she replies with haha, thanks, good luck to you for the future. And it was just cool to just like literally have a small talk conversation with that. And then I said, what's up, Nicole? Can I ask you a question? No reply. When is BD's next competition? Because I wanted to go to one. No reply. And yeah, so after those last two messages, I stopped messaging her and she stopped replying. So nothing much more interesting in that besides the fact that she replied a couple times and then just left me on red. But other than that, like, Nicole Casino, like I said, is just an amazing, talented drummer. It's just really cool to see, like I said, more females being able to play, more females to come out and play with the battery. So the next and final person, which is Nick RC. Nick was also one of the persons who replied right away, but not only that, he kept on replying. So Nick, shout out to Nick for replying to some random 8th grader who asked very annoying and very obnoxious questions. And yeah, this is a 2012 year, and I said, hey, you most likely won't know who I am. It's so funny because I like sent all of these in the same like general time era, and I couldn't think of anything new, so I kept saying the same thing. You most likely won't know me. Once again, he probably doesn't. But I'm a big fan of Blue Devil snare line. I think I probably copied this word for word for the other people. Paste. Yeah. I said, well, congrats on your score of 98.7. He says, he replied that same day, and he said, thank you, I really appreciate it, man. And after he replied,
I really appreciate it.
I said, I appreciate that, man. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic. I saw the same thing. And he said, no problem. Awesome tenor solo you got there. I'm not exactly sure what I was referring to, but after looking up Nick RC for like previous years, he went from tenor line 2011 for the Blue Devils to center snare 2012 for the Blue Devils. So being able to drum instruments like that is insanely hard, and you have to really be able to control how you play drums, essentially. It's just amazing to know that Nick RC has that talent to be able to do that. And then, so just going on with the conversation, I asked if he's auditioning for the 2012-2013 season, and he says, I aged out last summer, man. And during that time, I didn't know what age out was. Like I said, I was new to the whole drumline community, so I didn't know like what age out was. I didn't know what the age out year was. I didn't know who was who or how old people were. But he said, no, I aged out last summer. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How is Scott Johnson? I'm a huge fan, and it's an honor just talking with the captain. So I was just geeking out. I just wanted to know more about Scott Johnson and how he is as a person after finding out who he is and what he does. And then no reply. So I followed up with a question. I said, Nick, did Keelan age out? Because I was really curious on Keelan Toby because I found out who he is and how talented he is. And he said, hey man, yes, Keelan aged out this summer as well, which was, like I said, it was really, really cool that he just replied in the first place. And then he said, so after he sent that, I followed up with, hey man, are you going to be in RCC or are you aged out of that too? And I sent that question because I didn't know exactly if WGI had an age out year as well. So I was kind of indirectly trying to figure out if indoor had an age out. And then, oh my goodness, this is so embarrassing. I said, oh, can you come out to one of my drumline rehearsals, please? I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just such a fanboy and really excited that he was just replying and having a conversation with me that I asked him to come out to one of my rehearsals back in junior high, back in 2012. And I don't know, I thought that he would be down to do it. Clearly not.
What's up, Nick?
And then I said, what's up, Nick? No reply. I just wanted to make some friends. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to talk to some drummer friends, but I didn't have any. And then I was like, hello, Nick. Do you think it's too late to sign up for the 2013 BDB drumline? I want to be in it, but I don't know how to audition. Like I said, I had no idea about the whole DCI community. I had no idea where to find auditions. I had no idea where to find the music, who to contact, etc., etc. I was just some random kid in a junior high. And then he replied back saying that the line was set, but there's probably some spaces in the front ensemble. He sent me the site to go contact, and I ended up not doing it. So thanks for replying, Nick, but clearly I didn't do the B Corps back in 2013. So, one more question here. Let me see. Okay, I've been having a discussion at my school. We're arguing if drumline is a sport or not. Obviously, all my drumline friends said yes, and everyone else said no. So, like I said earlier, it's still a thing today where, like I said, all the people who are in drumline typically say that drumline is a sport because of how physically demanding it is, and how you're able to perform at a world-class level like professional sports do. And I just think it's really interesting that people who are not in the drumline community say that it's not a sport. So I obviously pointed that out here, and I asked him what he thinks. Do you think drumline is a sport? And he never replied. So he left me on red after that too. And that was the whole conversation between Time out. One more interruption real quick before we continue on with this video. I did want to mention that after asking for permission from Nick RC to post our conversation, he did mention something similar to what Keelan said. It was just something subtle, but nonetheless wanted to put on this video. It was the last message. He said, haha, it's okay. We all were there at some point. Now that goes back to what Keelan was mentioning in his conversation. The idea of not being afraid of looking up to your inspirations and going out and just having a conversation with them. It's really cool because Nick himself also understands, and he has been there at some point himself. So just don't be afraid to go out and do what you love. That's the end of this interruption. Sadly, I tried to look for other people that I sent messages to, but I think those were the only 4 people that I sent messages to at the time. But yeah, that's basically everything for today. Like I said, shout out to Keelan, Nicole, Nick, and Brandon for allowing me to post these messages. Yeah, they're all just amazing people, and like I've said a couple videos ago, that like everyone in this community is just so awesome and so chill and like really fun to hang out with. And I'm really appreciative of all that. I try to be as cool as I can with anyone that I meet, just to continue that vibe, and just it's a genuine like connection that I really want to meet with you guys. And it's just it was just a really fun experience to be able to go back with these messages and share these embarrassing experiences that I've had along with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure to check out these guys' pages. Like all of these guys, I'm pretty sure all of them still drum today. And just go out and explore, search new people, see what they've done, see how good they play. Try to get as much information as you can from all these high-skilled playered people, and learn as much as you can. I still try to do it to this day, and it's a constant grind. So that's gonna be everything for today, you guys. I will see you guys for the next one, and peace out.